prepared for the holiday season. Just under 6 weeks away from Christmas, if that's what you celebrate, and Thanksgiving just around the corner, a week away, I believe. So we're helping you get organized, we're helping you do a little bit of shopping, and then we're helping you plan and prepare in other ways as well. So I'd like to say hello, welcome, and introduce Kristin MacRae with Organizing in Our Eye.
Hi, Molly.
Hi, Kristin. So the past couple weeks, you've helped us get organized in numerous amounts of ways. And today you're helping us get organized in our home, which is really important, not only if we're hosting, but also, you know, just because a lot of times we're bringing in a bunch of stuff for the holidays too, right? So tell us how why it's important to get organized for the holiday season.
So it's important to get organized for the holiday season because you want to be, as, again, we talked about preparing last week, planning and preparing. And if you're having guests over to your house, this is a great time to tackle some areas that you might forget about throughout the year, but you're more alert to them now because you're entertaining and you want to make these spaces look welcoming and comfortable for your guests. So I think that's what we'll be talking about today.
Okay, perfect. So you have given us 7 areas to go through, declutter, and organize for the holidays. So I think this is a great way to break it down. You give 7 areas, maybe do maybe 1.5 a week.
Right? There's very small projects, very doable. Release that mental clutter, put them on the to-do list now. And don't procrastinate, because the more you procrastinate, the more you hang on to that mental clutter, and these projects aren't going to be as bad as you think they're going to be. So get them on the to-do list and get them tackled.
Get them on the to-do list and do it now. Okay, so the first area is the entryway.
Right, suitable, because that's the first place your guests are going to walk in. So the entryway consists of many things. It consists of the hall closet. You might have a hall closet there, and if your guests are putting their coats in that closet, you don't want things to spill out when they open that closet. So you want to make sure that this closet's decluttered. Think about what's in there. If there's still some summer items in there, get those summer items out and make this your fall-winter closet now, and leave some room in there for guest coats and maybe their shoes, you know, if they're taking their shoes off. Even some people have piles of shoes at their entryway. Right, when you walk in, you're hit with these piles of shoes. Think about maybe putting these shoes on shoe racks in the closet. Get them out of the baskets, get them out of the bins. You want this entryway to be as welcoming as possible and as less stress, you know, no stress. So when your guests are walking in, they feel peace when they walk in. They're not hit with clutter at the door. So if you have anything at the doorway, shoes, coats, sporting gear. Some kids just drop their sporting gear when they come in. Think about what's in that hallway and what can be transferred to other areas of the home, and what can you can make that space really peaceful and welcoming to your guests when they come in.
Winter's always a tough time in New England because we have to deal with weather.
So much, So
it's always tough because you have 5 different kinds of jackets, right? You have your raincoat, you have your light coat, you have your heavy coat, you probably have 3, you have your heavy dress coat. So there's a lot of that stuff. Plus then you have the scarves, you have the gloves, you have 3 different kinds of shoes that you're dealing with. So there's usually a lot of just stuff lying around. So if you're organizing your entryway, you mentioned, you know, some shoe racks, stuff like that. But if you just have an abundance of stuff, maybe what are some easy ways that you can go about organizing it if you're also dealing with the holidays and hosting?
So now you want to take everything out of the hall closet, figure it like that.
Okay.
Take everything out, just like we talk about with the process. Everything comes out. Now categorize your gloves, categorize out your jackets, categorize out your scarves, sporting gear, whatever it is, because now you'll really see what's in that closet. Where you can't get a good idea if it's all piled on top of each other. You might find missing gloves. You might find duplicates. You're going to find a lot of things when you start categorizing. And then you might have gloves that you haven't worn in years that you found that maybe you don't want anymore, that you want to donate this time of year. There's so many good charities that people are looking for coats and gloves and things. So think about how much do you really need, how much are you using, and then come up with a plan to categorizing things back in the closet. You might say, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have enough room in my closet. But when you start categorizing them out in bins and labeling them, it's going to be much easier to grab these items and you'll maximize the space in your closet. So think about laying everything out, categorizing it, and then picking a good way to contain these with good containers or bins and making it easy for you to grab. And then when you do have the guests over for the holidays, they're walking into this organized entryway and this organized closet, and you're going to find that there's going to be room for their coats and things like that.
Okay, that's always nice to know because, you know, it's so tough. You never know what it's going to be one day to the next.
Exactly. It's tough around here.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, and then you have to deal with the umbrellas and all the extra goodies that we get to deal with. I always thought I was being organized with the shoe bin, but you said maybe not so much, especially if we're hosting.
Yeah, I say with the bin because you think about elegant efficiency. We go back to that. How many times you grabbing a shoe to find the shoe that you're looking for. But if it's on a shoe rack all categorized out, then you're just grabbing the shoes that you need and go about your day. With a bin, it's kind of like rifling through and figure out what you need. But there are so many great shoe racks out there today. Again, look at what you have and then go purchase the shoe rack to what you need it to hold. Measure your space, height, width, length, so it fits perfectly in the closet, and then you'll find that you actually have space for these things. So many people think, oh, I don't have the space, but once you start planning it out and looking at everything, you'll find that space. But it's all about efficiency. Think how long it takes you to find something, how long it takes you to grab what you need, and you want to be as efficient as possible.
Okay. So the second area you want to get organized for the holidays are the guest bedrooms.
Yeah, so
how much enough to have guest bedrooms?
Yeah. So think about if you're having guests over, your guests don't want to look at clutter. They don't want to look at clutter when they wake up in the morning or before they go to bed. You want this room to be peaceful, streamlined, have just what you need for your guests in that room. So this is a great time. I know so many people can't get in their spare bedroom, believe it or not. It's full of clutter and they buy things and they don't know where to put it, so it goes in that room and the door gets shut and the room stays like this.
It's a catch-all.
Yeah, it's a catch-all. So this is a great time to go through that room. Again, declutter, think about what you have in there, what can live in other areas of the house, what you can get rid of, and create this serene place for your guests and give them what they need, maybe a drawer for their clothes or a rolling rack. We have actually my aunt staying with us this week, and we got the bedroom ready for her. I don't have a good closet space, so I brought the rolling rack up from downstairs with some hangers on it. So think about that for your guests if there's not enough space. Yeah. Giving them a rolling rack and a little end table to put their things on, but making sure that space is clear, so that way none of your stuff is they don't have to look at that clutter. So
making it, I think that was a nice point to say, making it a serene, peaceful area for your guests to stay in, so that way, if they're coming flying from who knows where, it's a relaxing space that they can go to, rather than saying, I don't really want to travel all this way and be stuck in a bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
You want to have a good time for the holidays.
Yeah, so remove that clutter.
Okay, so remove that. The other next space that you want to get organized for the holidays are the sitting areas.
Yeah, so your den. So again, this is a spot where when you have clutter in the den, when you're sitting in there every day, sometimes the clutter gets stuck to the wall. And what I mean by that, it just blends in because you're so used to looking at it, you don't see it anymore. So I want you to grab that pen and paper or your iPad and just go through and say, look in that room and say, what's in the corners, what's under the couch, what's getting stuck that sometimes it blends in the room and you don't see that anymore. Maybe get a fresh pair of eyes that doesn't see that room every day that can come in and say, oh, there's dust on those magazines in the corner, there's stuff stuffed under the couch. So get a fresh pair of eyes to come in and see what you're not seeing, what's blending in, and that way create, again, a zen space. Your guests want to be comfortable in your home this holiday. They don't want to be looking at, they probably don't want to be looking at clutter, and you want to have really good energy in these rooms for the holidays. So just declutter a little bit, pick up those magazines that are collecting dust and some of those other things that you're stepping over every time you go in, unfinished projects that might be in the corner, and again, declutter. These are small projects, just little things that you can tackle in a day or a few hours, and that way don't wait till the last minute, because again, it creates that mental clutter. I have to get this done, where if you just tackle it, you can get it off your to-do list and you'll feel so much better.
Yeah, and teamwork too, right?
Of course.
Involve
everybody.
Yeah.
Why not? Get everybody involved,
Say, let's get to it. And it'll feel good, and it also creates a serene space for yourself, right? If it's your home, then you get to live in an enjoyable space too, right? It's not just for your guests. Yeah. It creates a nice space for you to live in too, which I always think is kind of fun. It's like, oh, I get to be in this too.
Right.
I feel good.
Exactly. And even if you're not having guests over for the holidays, you want to put your tree up, so you'll be enjoying this space. So even if you're not having guests over, this is a great time to just do these little projects and prepare your home for the holidays yourself.
That brings up a good point. If you do whatever holiday that you do celebrate, so say, example, it's Christmas, and you're putting up a tree, we always have to rearrange to make room for the tree, and that always gives me a lot of anxiety because we have our spaces for things, and so finding new homes for stuff always puts me kind of in an anxious mood. So just being able to, declutter, get rid of stuff, if you can do that ahead of time, then it makes everything a lot less stressful, right? So being able to find homes for things ahead of time, it'll make it a lot more enjoyable.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter if you're having guests or not, just get it ready.
Yeah, get it ready. Why not? Okay. So the next area is the kitchen. When we talked a little bit about this before, is how to make your kitchen, get your kitchen prepared ahead of time. But let's go into that a little bit more.
So again, we talked about kitchen organizing, organize the food pantry, organizing your refrigerator, your freezer, taking care of all this now, so that way when it comes time for the time to cook and things like that, so you're going to be ready to do this. You're not going to be having to organize your kitchen the last week before the holiday and prepare everything. So if you do this now it's going to be a breeze when you're going to prepare and purchase things. Everything's going to have a home. And then even when your guests are we talk about paper in the kitchen. If you're having guests over the holiday, what do you usually do with that paper? You usually throw it in a closet. How many of you like push things in the closet when the holidays come? So
catch all bedroom.
Yeah, it all gets stuffed in there, and now you have to deal with it on the back end because now after the holidays, now you have to pull this all out. Whereas creating more work for yourself. So if you have all this clutter in the kitchen, think about creating permanent homes for your paper. We've talked about paper before. If you want to go back and look at my website or the YouTube where we can post these videos, go back and look at paper, how to contain your paper. So that way, when the holidays roll around next year, you don't have to do any of this. It's just maintenance throughout the year. Tackle these projects now, and it's just really about maintaining. But the biggest thing for the kitchen, I think, is getting the paper out of the kitchen. That can be an eyesore around the holidays. But don't just throw it in a closet. Figure out a good way to tackle it and create a good system for your paper.
I love that idea. Also, those junk drawers can pile up in the kitchen. You know, it starts with one, and then slowly goes to two, and then there's a junk cabinet, and then there's... So just being able to tackle that. And you can do that. Just sit down, go through it one weekend, and get rid of that. Find the homes for stuff or just get rid of the stuff.
And most of the time those junk drawers have duplicate items in them that live somewhere else. So if you want a free drawer in your kitchen, tackle that. And working with your hands, I read that working with your hands for just 10 minutes helps clear your mind. So it helps de-stress a little bit. You'll find that, so if you want to get a little de-stressed this weekend, work with your hands a little bit in a drawer, and you'll find that you're motivated to move on to other things.
Okay. Unless you are just too tired to take maybe you'll motivate yourself to go a little more.
It's refreshing.
All right, the next area are the bathrooms, which can go by super fast.
Yeah, so these are really quick projects. So if you have a guest bathroom, just go through tonight, or this weekend, go through your guest bathroom and think about what's cluttering up that bathroom. And the biggest spot to look first is under the sink. What's under there? Can you store extra toilet paper there for your guests? Can you make a little basket for your guests of little toiletries on the top? Think about what's in that bathroom and then how you can streamline it a little bit for your guests, get rid of some of the clutter, and just make it really, really presentable for your guests. Just going through just the little things. That's a really quick project that you can tackle, and you're going to find expired medication, you're going to find expired other toiletries, things like that, and think about what you can purchase for your guests going forward. Real quick project that, again, don't leave it to the last minute. Tackle this now. Nobody says you can't do this now while you have a little downtime before the rush.
Yeah, and it's a very nice step to do. Okay, next area, the dining room.
So this is a big one because a lot of people use dining rooms as their home office nowadays. And what happens is, again, the paper collects there, random items collect there. I have a lot of clients that their dining room isn't because usually throughout the year, like, it's not a formal space anymore. It becomes this, let me work in it and use it as an office.
Crafts, projects,
the
mail
kids
there,
are doing their homework.
Kids do homework,
so we forget the holidays are coming around. What do we do with all this stuff? So, again, take inventory and just break the process down because everyone's like, it's too overwhelming. I don't know where I'm going to have dinner this year. The dining room table's covered. Break the process down, take one item at a time, categorize it all out, and then you'll find when you're done, you have these piles. I have books that need to go to the library. I have piles of paper that need to get filed away. When you break it down like that, the process isn't going to be that difficult. So just create homes for these items. You might already have them, but because we kind of get lazy throughout the year and things just get thrown, think about now, let's focus on this so next year we stay on top of it so we don't have to do this. So
you'll be proud of me. There was a giant stack of papers that I needed to shred that was on my kitchen table, and I shredded it Saturday.
Nice job.
Recycled it, got rid of it, so I'm one step closer.
Great. I'm rubbing off on
that dining room experience. Oh, I've been there were some very difficult documents there, so it's taken a while, but we're getting there.
But didn't it feel good? It feels good to just get one thing off your chest.
Yep, you just do it now, and then you'll be ready to go for the next pile of papers.
Yeah, and it feels great. Like when you have an actual to-do list, it feels so good to cross things off that list, and you're like, oh, I did this. This is great. I accomplished it. So having those to-dos just to cross them off.
Inspiration, people. We can do it all together, okay? All right, the next area that you want to organize is your car. Some people live in their cars, but you'll probably do a lot of shopping this holiday season. You might be carting people around back and forth, too, from the airport, right? So
nobody wants to sit on your water bottles. Or your trash in your car.
Or anything else. So talk to me a little bit about this.
All right, so let's start with the trunk.
Okay.
How many of you still have your beach chairs in your trunk? All right,
I
know we want to hold on to summer as long as we can, but I think we're safe to say we can put the beach chairs away. So the first thing, again, take everything out of your trunk. Everything out. See what can go back in the house in the basement for the season. See what you actually need to keep in there. Because you want to create room in your trunk for gifts and things like that and presents. You never want to leave that stuff in your car, especially today. You never want to leave those things as you're shopping in the backseat of your car, people looking at it, But keep it in the trunk. So think about what's in your trunk right now? Can you fit anything in there that you need to for the holidays? Or as you're traveling, you know, suitcases and things like that, what can you fit in there? You're picking someone up from the airport, does their suitcase fit in your trunk? Then you have your car. So how many of you, I always say, like, when I see trash in people's cars, I'm like, when you just get out of the car, take your trash with you. Even if it's like a wrapper, take it out. You have trash in your house, or I'll go to the market, I'll take my trash out and throw it in the garbage. Think about what you have in your car right now that you can actually clean out. Give it a good cleaning. If you're transporting people, again, they don't want to like sit in your car with trash in the car. It's just, no. So this is a great little, again, a little project. It's not going to take you that long. Again, I think people get so overwhelmed thinking about the project that nobody wants to tackle it. But when you break the process down, just take the trunk this weekend, then take the inside the next day. So break the process down, tackle it. Again, one more thing to cross off your to-do list to get ready for the holidays. You'll feel so much better in a clean car. So especially with the winter coming, you want your car to be clean and so yeah. And you'll feel good when you get in your car. You want to like feel good in your car. Why not?
And it's nice too, just go to a gas station or service station, or I've heard of a couple places that do really nice detailing. Give it a good vacuum, get all that pet fur out, get all the kid dirt out. You know, kids play sports and carrying all that gunk. All the French fries, Cheerios out, and so that way if you're shuttling people around or whatever the case may be, you'll have a nice clean car. So
and it's an inexpensive project. You don't need to spend a lot of money to do it.
No, so it takes maybe an hour. Maybe
you have an hour.
Depends on how big your car is. How big it is.
So get ready for the holidays.
I think this is all great, and we'll provide resources and links to Kristin's website as well. Kristin MacRae with Organizing NRI, helping us get organized for the holidays. They're quickly approaching. So Kristin, thank you so much for joining us here today. Always great to get that insight. So everyone, please hang tight as we get set up here for our next guest on GoLocal Live.